Let's start our first news. Kamaru Usman has revealed who he wants next if he gets past Duplessis, and his answer is creating plenty of discussion. According to Usman, the two names at the top of his list are Sean Strickland for the middleweight title or Islam for the welterweight championship. Usman explained that a fight with Sean Strickland makes perfect sense, especially since the two have already shared the cage before. Back in 2017, Usman earned a unanimous decision victory over Strickland, making a rematch an interesting possibility years later. Speaking to the media, Usman said it is either Strickland or Islam if Islam is still the champion, which he believes will be the case. He made it clear that he would not call either matchup easy, but admitted that the fight with Islam was originally the one he wanted. Usman revealed that discussions had taken place and he believed that contest would be next. However, he explained that the UFC has a big influence on how matchups are made, and the promotion believed this opportunity against Duplessis was the right move at the time. Usman also reminded everyone that he has competed in this position before, facing a former champion, so this fight simply made the most sense. Even so, he stressed that the competition at the top of the division is incredibly tough. He pointed to contenders like Jared Cannonier, Nasruddin Imavov, Borralho, Robocop, and several dangerous fighters at welterweight, saying every one of them presents a serious challenge. Usman emphasized that there are no easy fights at the highest level of the sport, and every contender has earned their place. For now, his complete focus remains on Duplessis, but if he gets the job done, he already has his sights set on another massive championship opportunity. Move on to another news. Jon Jones has shared some surprising praise for Conor following his injury at UFC 329, focusing less on the setback itself and more on how Conor has responded to it. According to Jon, what has impressed him the most is seeing Conor continue to lean on his faith instead of allowing frustration and disappointment to take over. He explained that when someone publicly commits to God, they are often tested in ways they never expect. For Jon, injuries, setbacks, and difficult moments are all part of those tests. Jon said it would have been easy for Conor to fall back into old habits, become angry, or let resentment consume him after such a disappointing moment. Instead, he believes Conor has continued to praise God despite everything that has happened. To Jon, that says a great deal about his character and shows real personal growth. He explained that faith is not only about celebrating during victories, but also about remaining committed when life becomes difficult. Drawing from his own experiences, Jon reflected on the hardships he has faced over the years. He spoke about losing family members, making personal mistakes, and going through deeply embarrassing moments in front of the world. Through every setback, he said he has always tried to give grace back to God and remain faithful, even when everything seemed to be falling apart. Jon believes those painful experiences reveal whether someone's faith is real. He praised Conor for staying strong while facing criticism and public attention, saying that, in many ways, Conor has already won, because he now has the opportunity to inspire others through his actions rather than just his achievements inside the cage. Jon hopes Conor continues on this path, keeps letting his light shine, and uses his platform to positively influence others. Looking at both of their journeys, he said it is remarkable to see how much they have changed, choosing faith, discipline, and personal growth over the self-destructive paths they once followed. Move on to another news. Conor has broken his silence following UFC 329, responding to a wave of fan questions on social media and directly addressing the rumors surrounding his injury, preparation, and future. Instead of ignoring the criticism, Conor decided to explain exactly what was going through his mind before and after the fight. When asked how he felt heading into the Max Holloway matchup, Conor said he was completely calm and relaxed. He compared the experience to simply walking to the shop for lunch, with his opponent being the lunch. He insisted there was no fear, no panic, and no hesitation before stepping into the octagon. After one fan accused him of using mind-altering substances again, Conor quickly shut down the claim. He said he has not taken and will not take any mind-altering substances. According to him, regardless of how the fight ended, he is now fully focused on surgery, recovery, and maintaining extreme discipline. He added that discipline is something he genuinely enjoys and believes it is the key to returning stronger than ever. Another fan questioned whether years away from competition had affected his conditioning. Conor rejected that idea, pointing to his physical condition before the fight. He claimed his engine was fully prepared, his cardio was excellent, and his body was ready to compete for the entire fight without slowing down. He also dismissed speculation that he entered the cage already injured. According to Conor, he had zero issues before the opening bell. He explained that removing his shoe at cage-side caused a brief loss of balance because his foot was sweaty and without a sock, but insisted that had nothing to do with the injury that followed. When fans criticized his aggressive opening technique, including the jumping kick that ultimately led to the injury, Conor admitted he rushed the moment. He acknowledged that 5 years away from competition likely contributed to his eagerness, saying the mistake has been noted and corrected. His mindset now is to continue improving and come back better. Another supporter suggested he should stick to basic punches instead of flashy techniques. Conor responded by claiming he felt no real forward pressure from his opponent and believed he had plenty of time to dictate the action. He also defended his decision to answer fans online, saying he does not view them as haters, but as people asking genuine questions. Looking ahead, Conor revealed that if he has one more fight, he believes it has to be against Max Holloway. He also explained why he continued fighting with a torn ACL years ago but could not do the same this time, saying the previous injury affected his back leg, while this latest injury involved his lead leg, making nearly every movement impossible. He finished by insisting he entered UFC 329 fully fit, healthy, and in the best condition of his career before the unfortunate setback. Move on to another news. Kamaru Usman has explained exactly why he now refers to himself as a moneyweight fighter, making it clear that his focus is no longer tied to a specific division. Instead, he believes the best opportunities are the ones that matter most, whether they come at middleweight or welterweight. According to Usman, he has always viewed himself this way, but only recently has the timing and situation allowed him to fully embrace that mindset. Usman said he is capable of competing at both 170 and 185 pounds. While he admits he is not the biggest athlete in either division, he also refuses to see that as a disadvantage. In fact, he joked that he might even be one of the smallest competitors at middleweight, but he has complete confidence in his skills and believes technique, experience, and fight IQ are more important than size alone. For Usman, the decision has never been about chasing a particular weight class. It has always been about taking the opportunity that makes the most sense. He explained that years ago, if he had been offered an immediate middleweight title shot, he would have accepted it without hesitation. Unfortunately, that opportunity was never available at the time, so his career followed a different path. Now, however, Usman believes the situation has changed. If a major opportunity appears at 185 pounds, he is ready to take it. If the biggest opportunity is back at welterweight, he is equally prepared to return there. That flexibility is exactly why he calls himself a moneyweight fighter, rather than limiting himself to one division. Usman also dismissed the idea that moving between weight classes requires dramatic physical changes. He explained that he walks around and trains at almost the exact same weight, regardless of which division he plans to compete in. The biggest difference comes when preparing for welterweight, where he has to do additional internal work to reduce his body weight safely before the official weigh-ins. Even with those adjustments, Usman insists his everyday training remains largely unchanged. He emphasized that he has never relied on being the biggest or strongest athlete in the cage. Instead, he believes true competitors prove themselves through their willingness to face any challenge. Closing his remarks, Usman compared the mentality of a real gladiator to that of a modern fighter. In his view, true warriors do not carry a scale around before accepting a fight. They step forward, embrace the challenge, and compete against whoever stands across from them. That philosophy, he says, defines exactly what being a moneyweight fighter is all about. Move on to another news. Bisping has shared his honest thoughts on Conor's future following UFC 329, suggesting that retirement may now be the smartest option after such a devastating injury. Speaking on the latest episode of his podcast, Bisping explained that while he understands Conor's competitive mindset, the reality of the situation cannot be ignored. According to Bisping, the biggest concern is not just the injury itself, but the amount of time required to recover. Depending on the severity of the damage, Conor could be out for anywhere between 1 and 2 years. By the time he is medically cleared to compete again, he could be approaching 40 years old. While the sport and the next generation of fighters continue moving forward. Bisping also reflected on what must have been going through Conor's mind before the fight. After spending 5 years away from competition, stepping back into the octagon against an elite opponent like Max Holloway was always going to bring enormous pressure. He pointed out that there is nothing wrong with feeling nervous after such a long absence, especially when facing one of the best fighters in the world. He imagined Conor standing across from Max, seeing his confidence and athleticism, and naturally beginning to question himself. Then, after throwing his very first explosive technique, everything changed in an instant when the knee gave out. Bisping described the moment as absolutely devastating, saying it must have felt like living through a nightmare. Despite acknowledging the disappointment, Bisping believes Conor should also remember everything he has already achieved. He pointed out that Conor has a loving family, incredible success, worldwide fame, and financial security that most athletes could only dream of. While the frustration is understandable, he believes keeping life in perspective is incredibly important. Looking at the possible recovery timeline, Bisping explained that the best-case scenario could be a torn meniscus requiring around 6 months of rehabilitation. However, if the injury turns out to be a complete ACL tear or something similarly severe, recovery could take a year, 18 months, or even become career-ending in some cases. Although modern medicine has advanced tremendously, he stressed that the physical recovery is only one part of the challenge. The mental battle of returning after another lengthy layoff may prove even harder. Even if Conor eventually fights again, Bisping believes the biggest question is whether the same excitement, anticipation, and global attention will still be there. Regardless of who the opponent might be, time waits for no one, and the sport continues to evolve with every passing year. Move on to another news. Conor has directly responded to growing speculation that he has returned to using drugs following his injury and defeat at UFC 329. The rumors began after he uploaded a video to Instagram reflecting on the disappointing result. While many supporters offered encouragement, others claimed he appeared to be acting strangely, leading to a wave of accusations across social media. One fan bluntly asked Conor if he was on the drugs again. Rather than ignoring the comment, Conor responded with a lengthy statement, making his position completely clear. He said he has not taken and will not take any mind-altering substances. According to Conor, his focus is entirely on recovering from surgery and preparing for the road back to competition. He admitted that if the fight had unfolded differently, whether he had won or lost, there was a chance he could have slipped back into old habits. However, because events played out the way they did, he believes this moment has instead strengthened his commitment to discipline and personal growth. Conor stressed that 0 mind-altering substances have entered his body and insisted that his recovery will be built on hard work, patience, and complete dedication. He went on to explain that the next stage of his journey requires even greater discipline than before. In fact, he said he genuinely enjoys living with extreme discipline and believes it gives him purpose during difficult moments. Rather than dwelling on the setback, Conor appears determined to channel all of his energy into rehabilitation and returning stronger. The former champion also revealed who he wants to face when he eventually makes his comeback. During another exchange on social media, a fan asked whether his final fight should be against Chandler, Dustin Poirier, or someone else entirely. Conor gave a direct and confident answer, saying his next fight has to be against Max Holloway. That response immediately fueled discussion among fans, with many believing Conor is already focused on getting another opportunity against the man who handed him one of the toughest moments of his career. Despite the injury and the uncertainty surrounding his recovery timeline, Conor's message remained consistent throughout his responses. His priorities are recovery, discipline, and eventually returning to settle unfinished business with Max Holloway. Move on to another news. Colby Covington has shared his thoughts on Conor following UFC 329. And while he showed nothing but respect for the former champion, he had plenty of criticism for Dustin Poirier. Speaking ahead of his upcoming wrestling match against Usman at RAF 11, Colby discussed Conor's injury and explained why he believes fighters should not attack someone when they are already struggling. Colby praised Conor's impact on the sport, calling him one of the biggest stars MMA has ever seen. He pointed out that Conor has generated massive attention, sold countless tickets, and helped create some of the most memorable moments in UFC history. According to Colby, the excitement and energy Conor brings to an arena cannot be ignored, and because of that, he believes Conor deserves respect even during difficult moments. Colby said he would never choose to kick Conor while he is down, unlike what he believes Dustin did after the injury. He argued that Dustin should have shown more respect, especially considering his own recent controversies and personal struggles. The criticism became much stronger when Colby questioned Dustin's public image. He claimed that Dustin presents himself as a nice person in front of cameras, but behaves differently away from the spotlight. Colby brought up Dustin's recent legal issues and accused him of avoiding responsibility for his actions. Colby also referenced the history between Conor and Dustin, arguing that Conor played a major role in increasing Dustin's popularity and success. He claimed that Conor even tried to give Dustin advice and warned him about controlling certain problems before they became bigger issues. The former UFC title challenger continued by criticizing Dustin's approach to accountability. He argued that blaming others for personal mistakes is not the way a true fighter should handle difficult situations. While Colby's comments were highly controversial, his main point was clear. He believes Conor's legacy and influence on MMA should be recognized, regardless of recent setbacks. He sees Conor as a fighter who transformed the sport and believes criticism should be balanced with respect for everything he has accomplished.